What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world, man? This your main man. I am DJ Double Dose, man. We are back. We are back on the mic, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been a little minute because the last time we was here, we had went live with our partner Jonah. You know what I'm saying? And we discussed everything that happened from that week. You know what I'm saying? We've had some interesting shapings up of things over the last, I'd say, week and some change since we've been on the microphone. But let's go ahead and get right into it, man. You already know who this is. I am DJ Double Dose, and this is Double Dose of Reality Sports, man. So as you read from the caption, it says playoff picture shaping up because it is. You know, the one thing we talked about on this show was what? What did we talk about? Those, what are you talking about? What did we talk about? We said what? The Pac-12 would do what? Cannibalize itself. It is slowly starting to take place. We already saw what happened with Washington and Oregon. We talked about that on the last show. Washington gave Oregon their loss. Poor USC. Can we just take a sip? Because on this show, we have talked about USC and their lack of defense. Hell, the whole country done talked about it. We ain't special because we've talked about it just like everybody else. Although we, as in I, told you USC wasn't making it. I know people was believing in the Caleb Williams hype, and they wanted to, you know, they wanted to believe. You know, they was talking about he was going to be back-to-back Heisman. It's the reason why the feat ain't been accomplished in almost 30, 40 years. I think when was my man name? Archie. It's been a long time since the feat been accomplished. It's the reason why. Look at USC now. They've had back-to-back losses, got embarrassed in South Bend, and now they've just lost to Utah. Their nemesis. For whatever reason, they can't get it right. That's right. Lincoln Riley. Stankin' Lincoln Riley. Since then, of course, we know that Colorado, we know what happened. They won in the Pac-12 title picture, but I just want to throw it out there. You know, after what happened with them, they needed a well-needed bye. And that's your Pac-12 race. So right now, you still got Oregon in the mix. You still got Washington. They survived this past weekend. They survived. They survived to the tune of what was that score? Because it was close. It was 15-7. They were down 7-3 at half. Texas, let's move on past the Pac-12. Texas. Now, Texas still only has one loss, but they did not look good against Houston. And Quinn Ewers has gotten hurt, which is part of the reason why, you know, a lot of people thought that with Arch Manning coming there, would they actually be able to redshirt him, as most people think that they want to try to do. And that's because, I mean, Quinn Ewers got hurt last year. I want to say it's the same damn injury. Got hurt last year. And, well, he's hurt again. But for right now, for what we know, they're going to rock with Malik Murphy. So there you go. Oklahoma, you guys got into a situation where UCF needed a 2-point conversion. I guess you guys had the Red River shootout hangover. I guess. That's your Big 12 shaping up. Now, nobody actually lost because Texas still pulled out the victory against Houston, and Oklahoma still pulled out the victory against UCF. But it lets you know that Oklahoma is not invincible, and there's a mighty strong chance that they may not go undefeated. They still got OK State at the end, and we know how Bedlam is. So that's a whole nother chapter for them. And not to mention, they may have to face Texas again in the Big 12 title game. So Pac-12 is doing what it's doing. I mean, the Big 12 is doing what it's doing. Let's mosey on to the SEC. What did we say? Everybody Sorry about that. Everybody has said Alabama was done after the Texas game. What did we say here on this show? We said it pre and post. We said it before the Texas game, and we've been saying it the whole time. Alabama will win the West. I understand y'all want to sit around here and keep being hyped up about LSU. I get it. Whatever. I said that Tennessee was not going to go in there and beat them folks. They almost proved us wrong. They had them on the ropes. And if you know what, before we ain't even gonna breeze past that. We're gonna pull that game up. Let's pull it up because I want people to really look at this box score. If you didn't look at it, if you didn't watch the game, we can break it down and we can talk about it. Okay. Let's pull it up. Let's get to it. It's right here. Now, one thing you're going to look at when you look at this box score, the one thing I want you to look at is as ugly, and we all know the outcome. We all know what happened, but let's just, we got it up. Let's just look at it. What's that number right there? Tennessee was up 20-7. That's right, Rocket Top. 20-7. You had the lead going into halftime. What was the final score, people? 34 to ding, ding, ding. The same funk ass 20 points you had going into the half. You didn't score a single point. Not a field goal, not a touchdown, not a safety, not nothing in the second half. To the tune that Milroe was very efficient. He was 14 for 20, 14 for 21, 220, 2 tubs, 1 pick. McClellan found his mojo. 27 carries, $115. And when you think about it, you would say, hey, Milton played a decent game, 271, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But wait, there was a crucial moment in this game when Tennessee was only down by 7, and Alabama did what when Alabama got their scoop and score, man, it reminded me of how old school Alabama used to do. You would look at it and you would say, hey, this team is not going to get in a shootout with you. They can't hang with people on the shootout level. Guess what? They ain't got to. Because their defense is going to prevail. Same thing that we've said, you're going to hear a recurring theme about that throughout the show, or just throughout, while we're on the air, not just in this show, just in general. The things we discuss in the preseason that comes to light during the season. We said going into it, Alabama's defense was nasty, and they were going to be able to rely on that defense very heavily. So when you look at, we're going to have some LSU folks on next week. So please tune in. It's going to be a couple LSU people that I'm going to bring on, and buddy, they are amped. You know what I'm saying? They ready to talk. I get it. They ready to talk. But the truth is, the SEC is shaping up the way we figured it would. Alabama's going to win the West. We already said that Tennessee wasn't going to come in there and beat them. We already said that Lane wasn't going to beat them. So far, the only person that has walked into that building that we said could walk into that building and put it off was Texas. And that's the one that came in and did it. I didn't have faith in Lane. I don't have faith. Well, I didn't have faith in Tennessee. And I don't have no faith in LSU. So the SEC is still shaping up to be what it's going to be. Now, what did happen the week before that we didn't really get to discuss was, for Georgia, Brock Bowers got hurt. Now we're going to see this Georgia offense that has been, doing whatever it is that it wants to do or not want to do. It has done some things. So They can't rely on Superman right now. He is out. I think he'll be. They say 4 to 6 weeks or whatever number they put to it. I think he'll be back by the SEC championship game. But this weekend will be a huge test for Georgia. Georgia will get to, as much as y'all know how I feel about Florida and the University of Miami. Hate Miami slightly more than I hate Florida. That's because we're in the same conference, and it's whatever. Florida's going to be a test for Georgia because Florida has a solid D-line, and Florida doesn't mind, with Graham Mertz and the running backs that they have. Florida doesn't mind getting an ugly, low-scoring game. They probably would prefer it. You know what I'm saying? They probably would prefer an ugly game. So will we see Carson Beck continue to grow? And what I mean by that is he's shown each game he's gotten better, but also he's had Brock. How will he do with Brock not being in the lineup in a huge game? Because again, this is one of the 2 games on their schedule that we said they had. I mean, we looked at the schedule, we said it was Cupcake City, and one of the games that we always gonna circle is gonna circle Florida, gonna circle Tennessee. Those are the 2 games that we said. So if there was ever a chance that was gonna probably be, well, not probably, but if there was ever a chance for it to be a slip up, it would either be the Florida, I doubt it, or Tennessee. No Brock Bowers. That's going to make that more interesting as we go. So the SEC is kind of still on course because if Bama wins next week against LSU, that pretty much locks up the West, basically. For all intents and purposes, that pretty much locks up the West. Now, if LSU does so happen to pull that off, here's the thing about LSU not taking care of their business against Lane. By you not taking care of your business against Lane, it's going to make for a 3-way tie. And I'm sure if it comes to that, we'll get all the data points and all the research for you, and we'll see what the tiebreakers are. Because at that point, we will have to start looking at that because you would have Ole Miss with 1 loss. They lost to Alabama. In the SEC, you would have LSU with 1 loss, who would have lost to Ole Miss. Then you would have Alabama with 1 loss, who would have lost to LSU. So they've all played each other and lost to each other. So it'll be a 3-way tie. We'll dig through the weeds and see what that looks like. Head up top before we head to the mess in the ACC. Head up top. As we are halfway through the season, we finally got the first shoe to fall. The Big 3 and the Big 10. You had, we know the culprits: Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Penn State and Ohio State played defensive battle, which we thought it would be a defensive battle, and it was. In the end, I don't think Drew Aller, I think that's his name, the Penn State quarterback, I don't think he was ready for the moment, which is fine. I mean, Kyle McCord didn't play all that great himself, but one has Marvin Harrison Jr., who is basically crushed Penn State 2 years in a row. And if you didn't know what the number was, let me go ahead and read to you. Let's go ahead and pull that back up so you can get a full grasp of this is the second year in a row that he's killed them folks. But just so you can get an idea of what he did. So you can get an idea of what he did. The nasty work that he gave them. Just so you can get an idea. All right. Here we go. Now, when you look at, they're not that great. 22 for 35, 286, 1 touchdown. But let's mosey on down. He threw for 286. Okay. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 11 catches, $162. So of that 286, 162 of that went to Marvin Harrison Jr. If we go and we look at Penn State's receiving core combined, just to put it in perspective, Penn State had a total of 18 receptions. A total of 18 as a team for 191 and 1 touchdown. That's everybody. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 11 for 162 and a touchdown. So, shouts out to Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sure the people in Penn State, I'm sure they are going to be celebrating in the streets when you get your ass the hell on, because this is the second year in a row you have killed them folks and you have done it. So, we got one. This is why the show was titled "The Playoff Picture is Shaping Up," because Penn State now is sitting there with one loss. They're pretty much in the same boat that they keep being in. Now, granted, they still got Michigan. So they can make things murky. Ohio State obviously has Michigan. So it's not all the way formed up there, but it's shaping. It's slowly shaping itself out. Now, let's go to the mess that is known as the conference that that we reside in. Duke comes to the front of the congregation, put up a good fight. Second half, you ain't do shit. It's what we do. Second half, we've been shutting people out. It's what we do. Florida State pulls out the victory against Duke, 38-20. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Now Duke has a loss. Louisville, last week, took their L to Pitt. Louisville has a loss. Old faithful UNC. Every time you believe in the North Carolina Tar Heels, they do it every time. UNC lost to Virginia. So now they have a loss. So now you have, in this jumble, you got FSU sitting up top, undefeated. You got UNC, 1 loss. Duke, 1 loss. Louisville, 1 loss. And then you got Miami sitting there chilling with 2 losses. But Miami does play who else? You guessed it. They play Louisville. They've already lost to North Carolina, but they play Louisville left. So they got a chance to mess up Louisville as they go along. Louisville on the other, North Carolina on the other hand, I know it. Clemson lost. Clemson. Hey, you know what? I gotta pin this. Let me get this right, because I'm gonna pin this. The Clemson Tigers have 3 losses in the ACC, all before the month of November. It is safe to say that if you didn't believe it last year, or you didn't believe it the year before, Clemson, thank you for playing. Your run is now over. Nobody wants to play for Dabo. Not for real. You guys were a great option because Florida State had fell apart. Miami hadn't got their shit together. And the rest of the ACC was meh. You had 2 generational talented quarterbacks. You had Deshaun Watson. Where you at? I ain't going to shit on Taj Boyd. Taj Boyd was a damn good quarterback too. You had Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. That was 4-3-3. That was 10 years. You had one brief little gap with Kelly. I think his name was Kelly Bryant. That was 10 years. You had great quarterback play. DJU wasn't it. And guess who else ain't it? Cade Klubnik. He ain't it, y'all. He ain't it. The Florida State game, he blew it. Threw the ball, wrong play, wrong spot. Against Miami, this fool went rogue. Clemson, you were a feel-good story, but all of us want to say humbly, good fucking bye. Because we're tired of Dabo and his heeing and hawing and the fake ass just Goodbye, Clemson. Thank you for playing. Now that Mario was down in Miami and Mike got the thing rolling at FSU, North Carolina will always be a place to play for the Jordans and the uniforms alone. Elko, depending on how long he stays in Duke, he may be able to get that thing rolling. Georgia Tech's running a different type of offense, so you never know. They in Atlanta, they may be able to get that thing rolling. You got options in the ACC now. It's not just, hey, Louisville, same thing. New coach, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Braun. So it's like you got options in the ACC now. So it's not all, hey, it's just going to be Clemson. So you kind of benefited a lot because the conference was down. And the playoffs came upon right in the middle of your run. So you didn't have to deal with the BCS with the two teams, because couple of them years the BCS was around, you probably still would have been you wouldn't have been in no way. You benefited from a lot. But thank you for playing, Clemson. But I said all that to say the ACC is now, all the ones we named, the ACC is probably the most murkiest of all, because Louisville doesn't, like we said before, they don't play North Carolina and they don't play FSU. So now they do got Miami, but they don't play North Carolina, they don't play FSU. North Carolina has already taken care of Miami. Them taking care of Clemson really don't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but hey, it's a notch in their belt. So it's a lot to figure out what's going to happen in the ACC. But I said all that to say, now that we are over the halfway hump of the season, buckle up. Next week, after this weekend, we're going to have the first playoff rankings. We're going to have the first, usually the first ranking that they drop is always somebody that's in that top 4 or 5-ish. They usually don't be there. So keep an eye on that. Who is that going to be this year? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to say it's going fast is definitely going fast. NBA kicks off tonight. Lakers and the Nuggets playing. Ain't looking good for the Lakers. I just looked up when I started recording. We were down by 6. Look like they done pushed it to 9. Listen, man, LA, hey, because we definitely gonna talk basketball on the show. Hey, LA, man, my nose doing good. My Niners doing good. Don't y'all be the one to come in and run up my pressure. Okay? Just do me that one favor, Lakers. But I digress. We'll get to more NBA talk as the season moves along, man. Enjoy it. I don't know. Right now, the 4 that we picked to make it to the playoffs, it's still there. It's a little shaky with Texas. The other 3 solidified. Texas looking a little shaky. Like I said, Michigan look like they are a very dominant team. They handling their business. FSU continue to grow. They handling their business. Georgia, we're going to see. Without Bowers, will they continue to handle their business? But so far, up until this point, they have. So 3 of the 4 teams we picked still in solid shape. Texas, the Oklahoma loss. But again, if you don't take another L before the Big 12 title game, if you face Oklahoma again, I think that if you beat them again, you will firmly be locked in. I don't think you'll be left out. Unless for whatever reason, Washington manages to go undefeated in the Pac-12. Then a one-loss Big 12 team probably won't make it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, man. I want to thank everybody for listening to us, man. We got some interesting things coming up for the Bama LSU game. We will have a couple of guests on that week. We got a couple of people that I fool with, man. They my partners, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk a little ball. We definitely gonna have some fun. We got the Madison City Classic, you know what I'm saying? One of the big, massive events here in Birmingham. So I'll probably come back with a little video about the classic. I won't do a full show about it. We'll do a little snippet about it. Also, a lot of y'all did like Judge Conrad Grayson. He'll be back. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have an interesting fan base that we finna tear the shit up this week. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for rocking with me, man. Over here we doing more than college football. We doing NFL. We doing basketball. We're gonna keep this thing rolling. So the content will continue to roll. It's gonna continue to grow. We're gonna have a different studio set up soon. We got the table. We got the name tag and everything. We just gotta get some chairs, and then we're gonna have another little setup for you guys, man. But appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Thank y'all so much. Hey man, it's classic. If you live in the Magic City like I do, man, get out and have some fun this week. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out and about in them streets this week, man. I'm definitely gonna be out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. We will be at the game. I'll be at the game with my other guys from DSL Podcast. So Saturday we'll be at the game as well. So man, we just gonna keep this thing rocking, man. Keeping it rolling, man. So before we get up out of here, always remember, man, live, laugh, and love, man. Live your life to the fullest. Love on the people that love you back, and find you something to laugh at each and every day, man. And we out.